Morning, everybody. I forgot to hit record when I was starting this, but what I'm doing is making some what they call SOS. I used to love it when I was playing soldier and growing up. What you didn't see is me opening up this jar. A chuck I put up last year. Bought a whole bunch of meat back when all this silliness was first starting, and I froze a bunch, and then I canned a bunch. And I'll tell you right now, this particular jar I just opened was canned back in July, early July, 2020. I've already smell checked it. Smells good. It's already cooked. So all I gotta do is mash it up and get it warming. I'm gonna throw some onions, a little bit of seasoning in it. We're gonna put some flour in it, some milk in it. Make ourselves an absolutely delicious old-fashioned meal. Here's my onions. Use a mixture of red and white because that's what I had. Mix all these in here. When I'm using my cast iron, I typically don't go over medium heat. It holds the heat so well. It just makes no sense to me to go crazy with it. Once it heats up, I typically also will get my skillet warming before I ever put any meat in it, especially if the meat's cold. This meat wasn't cold, so I wasn't too concerned with that, but some say you can shock a pan. Now, I've never had any issues with doing it, so you do whatever you want. But in the interest to make sure this pan's around for many, many, many years, it doesn't hurt me to do it. So why not just go ahead and do it? So I'm just going to let these onions sit here and cook for a while. Put me a little seasoning in it. I like a little bit of garlic, so I'm going to put about half a tablespoon of garlic in mine. Mix all this back up. Oh, it smells so good. I wish that I could put smell out on YouTube. And what I've done is I've also got myself some frozen bread. I'm not going to use regular bread. Some frozen garlic bread. I'm going to get it rolling. Because I want everybody to see. Well, I'd love for everybody to see what it looks like when it's done. However, that may not happen. I'm using some of this Kroger brand Texas toast. I like it. Speaking of Kroger's, when I was there today, I started looking around a little bit more because people are saying there's no food. And I think I've come up with something. You guys can correct me if you like. But when I went into my Kroger's, of seeing different things that we didn't normally see. And it was kind of interesting because they had, usually there was a ton, and I mean a ton of barbecue sauces. There was nowhere near as many, so I'm just going to use barbecue sauce as an example. Nowhere near as many barbecue sauces, different types to choose from. Okay. However, what I was seeing was barbecue sauces that I had never seen in this area. Or brands that I'd never seen in this area. So that makes me wonder. And y'all can correct me if you think I'm wrong. That really makes me wonder. Are they shipping in these other brands because they hadn't been selling quite as well, and it's more or less a filler? Because they don't have the other ones that they used to have, so why not start shipping these others out? Put them in areas that they don't normally sell in, so we can fill it. That's just a thought. You guys tell me what you think in the comments. I'm going to start with, about a 1/4 cup flour. Mix all this up. Believe it or not, this is Angus meat because last year, and actually this year too, Angus meat was extremely easy to get a hold of. And it was cheaper. I was seeing the 73.20 ground beef, not ground chuck, just ground beef, be quite expensive. And I was getting a lot of this on sale. While this Angus ground chuck 80/20, I was getting it on sale. Add a little bit more flour. For $1.99 a pound. Now tell me that's not good when your 73.20 is selling for $3.99 a pound. I was also, while I was up there today, noticing that meats are a little bit less. There's still meat there, it's just there's a lot less of them. So, now the recipe that I was using, let's try and go back and forth and back and forth. The recipe that I was using called for 2 cups of milk. So I'm going to grab 2 cups of milk. Cup number 1. And cup number 2. We're going to start mixing this around. Now I'm going to actually turn it up a little bit over medium because I want to get this milk going. Now I know I just poured cold milk into a hot pan and that might shock it. Well, once again, I've never had any issues with that. This is what I got. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. There actually wasn't that much miracle meat, to be honest with you. You know that rat-based crap, or not rat, rat would be better than this. That plant-based crap that people want you to eat so bad, that's really just not good for you. I mean, try to help me understand. Is that stuff not processed to no end? Is it processed? They're making something out of plants to try and make it taste like meat. If that's not processed, then I don't know what processed is, because they tell you stay away from processed foods. Ay, caramba. Look at how delicious that's coming out. All that's looking good. Get my oven preheating. As I'm stirring this, you don't want to let it sit here for too long, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom. You don't want to have lumps. You don't want to have brown spots. But you do want to keep a close eye on it, because you want it to get thick. You want it to be thick enough so it stays on your toast. And this stuff is coming up nice and thick real quick. Now, when I do my ground beef, look at it boiling. When I can my ground beef, I don't cook it beforehand. I take it raw. I raw pack it. Follow the recipe. It's been a little while since I've done any meat, because as I've used it, I've just bought frozen and put back in the freezer. But I raw pack mine. I don't put any seasonings in it, because I want to make stuff like this. And you notice I haven't put any salt in it, because I'm going to let the other stuff that I put in it be my seasoning. I don't want to put... If I need salt, I can put more salt on it later. So... But yeah, that's what I was noticing at my local Kroger's, and I've been to a couple of them. There's products that are coming from... that don't normally sell around these parts, around this part of the country. And I'm thinking it's what people just aren't buying that much of. So they're shipping it around to fill in spots. Now, you're still getting your regular KC Masterpiece and stuff like that, but I haven't seen any Famous Dave's. I haven't seen any Texas inspired. Some of the stubs that I like, not there. Some of the sticky fingers. Oh, I use this as an example. Let me show you. I just bought this one. That be a coincidence? This here Jim Beam Smoky Barrel Barbecue Sauce. I never had this before. Never once. I got it now. Oh yeah. You gotta keep an eye on it when it starts doing this, because it will boil and burn. So I'm going to turn it down. Now this is most likely going to thicken upon standing. So I'm actually going to turn it off. Just keep stirring it, because being in this hot pan, it's going to continue to cook. Oh, this smells so good. These onions and this garlic, along with that seasoned salt. Look how thick that is. All that meat, I'm going to be eating good for days. So, unfortunately, my bread's not going to be done in time for me to throw this all together. But that is how I make SOS. Saving my soul. Hope you guys try it. You can use your own concoction of spices. You don't necessarily have to do it the way I do it, but this is how I do it. Cowboy Kent Rollins, he does a really good recipe on this. So, if you want to see his, see how he does it, by all means, check him out. But this is how I'm doing it. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope you enjoy it.